Good morning, students. Today, we would like to discuss about a new chapter, that is the contract of agency. What is contract of agency? Actually, this is the continuation of the last chapter, different types of contract. So, different types of contract. This is the last type of contract of agency. As we know, a person alone cannot do a business or do all the activities at a time. So he may appoint another person to represent him in any of the business dealings. So those persons, they are representing a person, can be called agent. So the contract entered between these two people to represent another can be called contract of agencies. As per section 182 of Indian Contract Act, a person who employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealing with a third person is called agent. It means a person do any act on behalf of the third party or represent any meetings or any other activities on behalf of a principal can be called agent. And the contract entered between these two people to participate or to do the activities can be called a contract of agency. And the person to whom the agent is represented can be called a principal as per Contract Act. So there is one person called agent and another person called the principal or the master. So any activities done by the master can be done through an agent by representing in the contract through the contract of agency. Now we will discuss the rule of agency. There are two basic rules regarding agency. Rule number 1, whatever a person can do personally can do through an agent. Whatever a person can do personally, he can do through an agent also. If a person do any act, he may be purchase a car or purchase a building, purchase a land or sell of land, dealing any kind of business activities, or he has to represent one meeting or he has to represent one talk or something like that, he can send his representative. So whatever a person can do personally, he can do through an agent by representing. So he can appoint a person. As per Indian Contract Act, a person can appoint another person as an agent for any activity that a person can do personally. Number 2, he who does an act through another does it by himself. He who does an act. There is an act, when you read, you have to read it like he who does an act through another does it by himself. If a person do something or an agent, suppose if an agent do something or does something on behalf of the principal, it is like the master has done or the principal has done that. So ഒരു ഏജന്റ് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ ചെയ്തതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ്. Because there is a contractual relationship, agency contractual relationship, because master is appointing the agent as his representative. So whatever the act done by the agent is like, or it is the activities of the principal. So these are the two rule of agencies. I think all of you understood what I said. So an agent is a person who represents another or do something on behalf of another as per section 182. And there are two rules of agency. One is whatever a person can do personally can be done through an agent. And what an agent does is like the master done. Okay. Now we will go to the essentials of agencies. There are basically three essentials of agencies. Number one, the principal must be the competent person. The principal must be competent person. It means the principal of the contract must be competent enough as per Indian Contract Act. So he must be major, he must not be lunatic, he must not be idiot, and he must not be unsound minded person. So whatever capacity as per Indian Contract Act is there to enter into the contract, a valid contract, the master or the principal must be competent person. But number two, any person can be an agent. What does it mean? Even a person who is not competent to enter into the contract also can be the agent. It means a minor can be an agent, or a person of unsound mind also can be an agent. But the problem is, whatever act done by this unsound minded person or minor person, the principal will be legally obliged, or will be it is the obligation of the principal to see that the person is competent and ensure. But it is as per Indian Contract Act that it is not the legal even a uncompetent person, non-competent person can be an agent. And another important point regarding essentials of contract agency is no consideration required for a contract creating agency. To create an agency, consideration is not required. So what is consideration? We have discussed in the essential, one of the elements of contract, the third elements of contract is consideration. Consideration means something in return to the promiser. Say, for example, when I buy a car, I need to pay money for that. That money can be called consideration. But here, to appoint another person on behalf of me, suppose I am appointing another person as my representative, I don't need to pay any consideration for that. But even sometime a contract with the agency can be with the consideration, need not be with the consideration. That is that. Okay. It doesn't mean അവിടെ ഒരു കോൺട്രാക്ട് ഓഫ് ഏജൻസിയിൽ കൺസിഡറേഷൻ തീരെ ഉണ്ടാവുകയില്ല എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഇല്ലാതെയും കോൺട്രാക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാവുന്നതാണ് എന്നാണ് അർത്ഥം. നമുക്കങ്ങനെ കട്ട് ആൻഡ് റേറ്റിൽ പറയേണ്ടതില്ല. കോൺട്രാക്ട് ഓഫ് ഏജൻസി ഇപ്പോൾ എന്നെ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു കൺസിഡറേഷൻ ഒരാൾക്ക് വാങ്ങണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അയാൾക്ക് ഒരു കൺസിഡറേഷൻ കൊടുക്കുകയാണ്. യു ഗോ ആൻഡ് അറ്റൻഡ് ദ മീറ്റിംഗ്, ഐ വിൽ ഗിവ് യു 10,000 rupees. ഓക്കെ ഫൈൻ, ഇറ്റ്സ് ഗുഡ്. ബട്ട് അങ്ങനെ കൃത്യമായും ഒരു കട്ട് ആൻഡ് റേറ്റിൽ നമ്മൾ കൺസിഡറേഷൻ, ഇനി കൺസിഡറേഷൻ ഇല്ലാതെ ഞാൻ ഒരാളോട് പറഞ്ഞു യു ഗോ റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ് മീ ആൻഡ് ഐ മേഡ് എൻ അഗ്രിമെൻറ്റ്, ഈവൻ ദാറ്റ് ഓൾസോ without consideration. So this is one of the exceptions to the contract without consideration, also legally valid. I think you would have studied it, contract of agency. So a contract without consideration also legally valid in case of contract of agency. So these are the three essentials of valid agency contract. Now let us check out what are the difference between an agent and a servant. Who's an agent? An agent is a person whose agency is actually created for dealing with the third party. Actually, he is not working under the person, but he want to do something to deal with the third party. Say, maybe for purchase of land or building, whatever it is, or represent in a meeting. So any dealing with the third party, agencies are created for dealing with the third party, but the servants is created directly to work with the principal, not to deal with the third party. Say I appoint one secretary for me, that secretary is working for me, not dealing any. He is not making any dealing with the third party. But I appoint another person as my agent. Say I am taking an agency of chapel sales. Say on behalf of the VKC I am doing it. Customers are coming, customers are the third party, customers are coming, I am selling the goods. So as an agent of VKC, I do sell the goods on behalf of the VKC company. Now, the principals given direction on what to do. Say here, in case of agency, the principal is given an instruction. Principal may be giving an instruction what to do. In case of selling a chappal, I have to sell the chappal. That's it. But how to sell the chappal is not the matter of concern for the principal. That is very important, because instruction given on what to do and not how to do. But in case of contract of servants, we will instruct the servant how to do, what to do. So these are the basic differences. Then an agent get commission. When agencies are created, agents get commission, but servants get salary. No need to say the servant will get only salary, but agent will get commission. An agent can work for several principles. Say in the agency, if you take an agency of VKC, you can take agency of the same shop, you can take the agency of some other shop or some other chapel companies. So you go to textiles, you will find different brands, because they are all agents of different brands. So an agent can work under any number of principal, but the servant usually work only under one person. So these are the basic differences between the agents and the servants. So dear students, I think you understood what is the basic concept of agency. Agent is a person who represent another person, who represent the principal or master for doing any activities, or representing a third person. Representing for a third person can be called agent. So an agent and the masters or principals are explained in this particular video. Now, what are the different types of agencies and how do we create agencies will be discussed in the next video. So please listen this particular video and give me the reply. Okay.